Sunday morning, I'm Hugh Keaton.
And I'm Bill Snyder.
We start with the status of flood insurance in our state. Mississippi Insurance Commissioner Mike Chaney joined us. And Commissioner, you've been on the coast this week taking part in a conference. A lot of people got together looking for insurance solutions. Just give us an overview of what was discussed.
Well, what we have discussed is disaster leadership, what to do if you have a disaster, what to do to prevent major damage at your homes or to your cities. So we have a lot of mayors. We met with all the coastal mayors. We have almost 400 people at this conference. It's a working conference. It's not a political conference. It's about what we need to do to have a more resilient community, more resilient homes, and what you can do to lower your insurance rates.
And not only talking about residents, but also you said the cities and the mayors were there too, because as we've learned after storms, it's not just buildings that are affected. You got piers and all that other kind of stuff. So I'm sure that was also talked about as well, right?
It was, and we had, we had a lot of varied comments. We had the mayor from Orange Beach came in and talked, and we had the mayor from Smithville who went through the tornado that killed so many people. And we had the mayor from Louisville, Mississippi, that survived through the tornado. And it's important for people to understand real hand stuff. And then you have the mayors from Waveland and the other people that are there. It's a pretty big deal about what we need to do to be more resilient, to stay aware of the dangers of catastrophic events and what we can do to minimize the damage.
So this week, the government shutdown did end after more than a month. During that time, the National Flood Insurance Program was essentially paused. That made it difficult for you to issue new insurance rates or renew a policy. But Congressman Mike Ezel's partnered now to introduce the NFIP Retroactive Renewal and Authorization Act that would go back, and if you were looking to buy a home or get a new policy, this kind of thing, you would be enabled to do that. But as we know right now, that has not been passed. Where does the NFIP stand right now from your perspective?
Well, for the NFIP, if it goes away or you miss the window and don't pay your premium, you may go from $400 to $700 a year to $4,000 to $10,000 a year. Ooh. And we've had that happen to us. So we had a visit at the department from former Governor Phil Bryant, who's the vice chair of the FEMA working group that President Trump appointed to run that group. He's along with Pam Bundy. He has suggested to us that all the commissioners need to work together to figure out a solution and let private industry come in, which would be cheaper than the federal government, or it would be on top of the federal government so you could keep rates low. People cannot afford to pay $10,000 for flood insurance and live in the flood zone. You just can't live down here if you have to do that. So we've got some private solutions coming. We'll discuss all of this in Florida in December, all 50 commissioners plus the 4 territories that we have, and DC, so we'll have 55 people in the room.
So you think a change to that system's coming?
I know a change is coming. Okay. When you've got Washington not wanting to renew the NFIP retroactively, and I hope Congressman Ezel and our congressman from Louisiana are successful, but I'm afraid that from what we see politically, Hugh and Bill, we just don't see that happening. So we're looking for a private solution, and that's more stable. You remember 18 years ago or 16 years ago, I sued the federal government over the Bigger Waters Act because of what they were going to do. And basically we won that case, which kept the rates fairly decent on the Gulf Coast. But that's not a sustainable model from the federal government's point of view. FEMA wants to raise the rates, and there's not a lot we can do except to privatize and offer some private issues. Now, the good news is in Mississippi, we have companies here that write in flood endorsements on homeowners' policies. Had another reporter from another media say, yeah, I've got one of those policies, the best thing I've ever done. Saved me a lot of money.
Yeah, they do. And what you talked about with the Disaster Leadership Conference too, pulling together the resources, Mississippi, Alabama, Louisiana, Florida. Do you really feel like it is strength in numbers as far as putting the pressure on some of these companies?
Bill, I do. The key is we're doing a market conduct exam on State Farm because they don't pay the claims. You can have real low rates, and people say, that's great, I got a low rate, but if they don't pay a claim when you got one, it's no good to have insurance. So we're trying to find some happy solution to make people pay the claims. That's a major problem for us, and other states have bound in with us. So the strength is in the numbers to get things done, and that's what we're trying to work on.
So in the government shutdown, a big hangout was the Affordable Care Act extensions, and the premium increase or loss of insurance for Mississippians could be significant if those extensions don't end up getting put forward here over the next few months.
Hugh, I don't think that the Congress is going to extend the tax credits.
Yeah.
We just don't see that happening, and that's really where I'm spending more of my time. Most of the staff, which I've got some of the best staff in the United States, other commissioners say we're envy of you, but we're working to try to find a solution to what people can have or what you can do to get affordable health insurance. We've got people that text us every day and say, "I'm paying $4,000 a month for just me and my wife," and you can't do that. So when you look at the tax credits going away, the people on the lower end of the spectrum of income up to say 250% of poverty level, that's somewhere around $65,000, will probably get a pretty good break. Under the old existing plan, that's what will go back into effect. The good news for us is we've been able to do some things quietly. We finally got the legislature to agree to some of the things we did. We've helped Farm Bureau design a plan. It's not an insurance policy. We call it a plan so we don't have to regulate it, where they can offer to their members a plan that's less than $500 a month. And it provides pretty good health insurance. Not pretty good, is really good stuff. It's kind of like what the state health.
So you're preparing that alternative.
We're preparing that alternative, but you know, it takes several people to tango when you do this, and tango meaning you got to work together. If we don't have unity, you won't solve the problem.
You know, one thing I was thinking about, we have our issues obviously with hurricanes and storm surge here. We've seen these like things with tornadoes, especially here in the state. How does that factor in? And I'm kind of thinking more of our northern, central to northern counties, those type of things. That factors in as well they've got their own set of problems, I guess, is what I'm getting at, as far as, you got mitigation here and you got that too, as far as wind and those type of things, right?
Well, if you're going to do mitigation, it needs to be statewide, because you've got a different set of circumstances. Mitigation is simple. Mitigation just simply says you lower the risk, and it's a win-win for everybody. If the insurance company has a lower risk, they don't have to pay out as much on a claim. Sure, they're going to have a reduced premium, and the agents get, they're going to lose less commission. But the good thing is you don't have to pay out a lot because you reduce the risk. And it's a win-win for everybody.
So we'll be looking for mitigation to come up in the legislature again this year.
Yes,
Hopefully
we
it'll
hope
come
so.
through.